I've written Plan Bs using this and in 30 pagers. Let me just show you how many lines of code you might be looking at there. So where would those be? Those would be in Dropbox. Documents, CMU. I think I did those in the spring of 12. Okay. So, yeah, it's just there's a bunch of stuff in here because I was using all of these. Here's the output, the last one that I did. Okay. So, you can see that you can import images like that little CMU symbol. You can use different fonts. Make an abstract. You can create sections in the document. All of this was done in Tech. You can make these little equation array things. That's something I'm going to show you how to do is use equation array. That's very useful. You can actually dynamically create images in LaTeX. Like these weren't imported externally, these were created inside the PDF document. Whereas that first one up here was imported. I think I could actually highlight that thing as a, well, I guess not, but it's an image that was imported, whereas some of these have been created by the program. Like these are smaller grids. Okay, and you got the summations. And depending on the situation, you may want to do them inline like this, or have them outside like that. Okay, so you kind of get the idea of what you can do. Like doing things like this can be really hard to do in Microsoft Word, but once you get the hang of it, it's so fast in Tech. Like complicated things like this. See how I've got a subscript in an exponent, things like that. It's a little bit too much to show you how to do this kind of thing. That would be for another video, but I can show you how to do stuff like this. Okay. So, this is what a 30-page document would look like. Plan B paper. You can see the tech from it. Okay. How many lines of code are we looking at? Over 1,000. Okay. See how end documents at the end. You can have a bibliography. It's kind of neat feature. So that to break page break is backslash new page. Okay, and you can have different sections, and they'll create headings for you. You can have subsections as well. I think that's just backslash subsection. Okay, so I just did some math for fun earlier. Let's close this one and just use our test. So let me get a picture up of something I wanted to put in Tech as a demonstration. Where was that? Okay. Should be in camera uploads by date. Should be this thing. Yeah. Okay. So suppose we want to put this math stuff in Tech. See how I have an something equals something, something equals something, the whole way down like that. Let's see how that would work in Tech. Okay, and see how it wraps it for you like that? It's kind of really nice. Let's make this smaller. Okay. So I'm going to finish that line, and let's put a lot of space there, 30 points of space. You can also do it using other units of measurement. like inches or centimeters. So let's just put it at 1 inch. That's plenty of space. Okay. So now I want to create an equation array. Okay. And you don't need, that's one important thing, you don't need to have these there once you enter the equation array environment. So you do begin and then an equation array, EQN array, and I put a star at the end because that is going to make it so it doesn't number the equations, which I find irritating, but it can be useful to do that. One habit I have is when I ever begin something, I end it. Okay. Because it won't compile properly if you don't do that, if you don't close off the environment. Okay, so we have a fraction 1 over ln b. So you don't need $signs when you're in this environment. So we have a fraction, 1 in the numerator, and the denominator we have ln. I'm pretty sure it's kind of intuitive, \ln, okay, and then b. See how the b isn't blue but the ln is? It knows the b is not part of the command I'm doing there. Okay, so that's my denominator. So now I'm doing my equals. So I'm going to hit tab actually and make an ampersand equals ampersand tab. Okay, it's creating a column on the left and right of that equal sign, and all those equal signs will line up. Okay, so now we need a negative fraction here. So we have our negative, and that space won't it shouldn't show up. It should be okay without it there. I just like to make space. You don't need it there. So ln of ln yeah, and there's supposed to be parentheses around that one. I just make spaces so it's clear what's what. Okay, you see how they're green? Like it shows you if you've closed it off or not. Like if I put another one, there's not green because it's not associated with anything. Alright, so that's my ln of lnb. I need to now close my numerator. See how it's green because it closed it? And now my denominator is lnb. Okay, so that line is done. So you want to finish the line with a double backslash in this environment. You do that for every line except for the last one. So now my next line is just a 1. Okay, and I tab over to this ampersand. Negative ln. I don't have a fraction anymore. I don't really need a parenthesis there. Okay, that's it for that line. So now I've kind of flipped them and multiplied by -1. So now I have ln of ln b equals, so tab over to ampersand equals -1. Then I have ln b because I made both sides the exponent on e. Okay, so I have ln b equals 1 over e, so I need a fraction. Then I just use the letter e. Now, this is our last line. We're raising to the, well, making them both the exponent on e again. So b equals e to the, so this is how you raise to a power. And rather than have a fraction there, I'll just do 1 over e, because it'll get kind of cramped otherwise. Okay. There, we don't need the double backslash. We're just going to end the equation array. I'm going to hit delete once so that that fills in there. I think those spaces might create an error. Okay, now that should compile. I believe the syntax is right. If it's not, it'll give us a red error message down here. Okay, it did not. When it does that, it created a PDF file, which you can then view. And it just overwrote the old one. And whenever you compile, it saves. Okay, it saves the text document and creates, it overwrites the old one. Doesn't prompt you on that. So let's compare this to what I had written down. We have 1 over lnb, see how the equals signs line up. Got the negative there. Looks pretty clear what's going on. I multiply both sides by lnb. Multiplied by -1 and flipped it around. Raised, well, made it the power of e, then made it the power of e. Okay? Usually what I do is I won't have something on this side. I'll just have this equals this, equals this, equals this, equals this, equals final answer. But it's kind of up to you. You would just leave the stuff over here blank. Okay? Let's see what would have happened if I put 2 backslashes at the end here. See if it'll compile. I don't think it will. Or it'll compile and look weird. Okay, compiled it. Well, I guess it didn't do anything. But you don't need them. But if I didn't have them here, let's see what that does. Yeah, doesn't like it at all. It's got these errors. It probably didn't create a new document. Well, it did. It's just got errors in it. So if I created an error, I just Control Z, and it brought them back. It undid what I did. Now if I compile, it'll work. Okay? So that's kind of the basics of that. So I'll conclude this video at this point, and I'll have a separate video for how Beamer works. Okay, thanks for watching.